Welcome my friends, this is Maniacal Incorporated and I'm starting my intro a bit early just to show you, I hope you saw them there at the start, the achievements that popped up, including the achievement for the Kingdom of Ireland, which we formed in the last session. It didn't pop up at the time when I did it, but I have it here in the game, but I don't have it on Steam yet, so maybe after today's session it'll be included amongst my achievements. So, in the last episode I said that I was going to get the army to some bit of a state where it could take part in the wars for the Italian crown. I was calling them the War of Italian Succession, but I actually took a look at what it is, and I will explain as best as I can the absolutely crazy political situation in Europe in a couple of minutes. But before that, we'll get through some marriages and some quick changes to make. I said a few episodes back that Flann Sinna was the stepson of Éad Mac Níl, and Éad was our liege at the start of this game. He was overthrown, and we waged an independence war against him. But I said that the marriage between our mother, or Flann Sinna's mother, and Éad was not represented in the game. Their children, however, are, because here's our mother, and here is our stepfather, Éad. And here is a child of that marriage between Éad and our mother, our half-brother, who is the captain of the Gallowglasses, the Gaul Oglig. Largely Scottish mercenaries, first attested in the mid-13th century, so they're arriving a bit early. But Moldov is their captain, and what we're going to do is we're going to organise a marriage between our son, Kukurka, and a close family member, Dúnseach Nic, N-I-C, Dúnseach Nic Éad. So she's another daughter of Éad, but from a different marriage. And so she's a half sister to our half brother, but not to us. It's confusing, and then she's related into the family in other ways, which is why we get this lovely little warning. But this will give us an alliance with the Gaul Oglig, so we are going to send that proposal for Kukurka. And while we're speaking about our stepfather Éad, on his death, or maybe before it, I can't remember the exact order of things, but we replaced him as the head of the Irish culture and became fascinated with city planning. Now, I didn't realise how close we were to finishing it. We've 18 months. It is utterly worthless to us. It is utterly worthless because what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to build all of these buildings when we get out of being tribal. And that's not going to happen for us for a very long time. So Ireland is tribal. And I was discussing this a few episodes back, and I was discussing it actually with somebody in the comment section to one of the earlier videos. So I just put up the 4th video in the series today, and I'm recording this one. So thank you all for checking them out. Hope you're enjoying them. And I was discussing with somebody who was saying that maybe it would be a good idea to have Ireland as tribal in 1066. And I was actually thinking we should have them as feudal in 867. So let's see if I can bring it up. If I can find the map again. Governments, I believe. There we go. So Ireland is tribal, and Scotland. I was saying that Ireland was the only feudal Christian power, but it looks like Scotland or Alba was also tribal. This limits what we can do. We can't form holy orders because we need to be feudal to do that. We can't build holdings, which is going to really limit our ability to expand, or not expand, but to grow and increase taxes and things like that. Apparently there are benefits all right for the military side of things. So what I was going to do is I was going to change this, but we're going to have it researched shortly, so we might as well. I don't think we're going to see us coming out of the tribal era in this playthrough, because at the very least we need to research all of these other things, if not these as well. I'm not really too sure. We'll probably go for this one afterwards. So we have a lot of prestige built up from creating the Duchy of Connacht and the Kingdom of Ireland. Flann Sinna was crowned High King of Ireland in the last episode. And before we regroup our armies and send them to fight against our numerous enemies, in the numerous wars that our ally West Francia has involved themselves in, we're going to invite some champions. And replace some of the warriors we have. Rewatching some of the earlier videos, poor old Yaroslav, who I sent into battle with 0 prowess. It was probably not a great idea. It was that missing leg. So we're going to invite a few. We're going to invite a few more champions and adopt special succession type. Partition succession makes us weak and divided. Perhaps the realm's magnates would accept a historical alternative. You may pick a form of traditional elective succession based on your culture or your capitals, provided one is available. It would be applied to any of your top ranked titles using partition succession. So what they're basically hinting at is that we can implement the system of Tanistry or Tánaiste Rí for the Kingdom of Ireland. This means that it's entirely possible that our son, Green Grafador, will not succeed to the High Kingship. Because I could vote for somebody else, and I think at the moment we only have the Duke of Munster is pretty much, well, he's not the Duke of Munster, he's the former Duke of Munster. His brother is the former Duke of Munster. Oh, it's confusing. I kind of recognise him as the Duke of Munster. I regard him as the Duke of Munster. He holds 2 counties. He's the only other person who could vote at the moment, and we'd be able to outvote him as things sit at the moment. But for historical realism, I'm at the very least going to think on the matter of instituting Tanistry or the system of Tánaiste Rí. The question of who will succeed me after my death has plagued me ceaselessly of late. Oh, it's plagued me for a lot longer than that. The threat of splitting the realm ever on my mind, of course. While it is usually difficult to persuade the realm to accept a new order to the succession, it can be much easier to return to the old. The ancient ways of my people are best, or on second thoughts, partition is fairer. We will gain Tanistry elective, and we will implement it. And we get a pop-up. A lot of these bastards, a lot of these pop-ups return from one game to another. We're above our domain limit, so I'm going to have to see about handing out a county to somebody. And we can nominate a successor for the Kingdom of Ireland. It's handy that we can do this for the prestige cost. It usually costs, I think, 1,500 prestige to add Tanistry elective as a succession law for a kingdom or for a duchy or anything like that. So that would be a hefty, hefty cost. We could have afforded it, but I didn't want to be spending that much prestige on anything. What basis are we going to select our future ruler on? What basis are we going to select him on? So Green Grafador has been causing a lot of problems of recent. Of course, he's murdered at least one of our wives, if not 2. There was one wife murdered, and it was definitely him. There was another wife murdered, and we don't know who did it. He is a sadist. He's a trusting sadist, and he's diligent. Some of the other sons are now forming very strong alliances. Green Grafador is, of course, married to the daughter of the King of France, who is dragging us into a number of wars. Like, his army is strong, but it's down to half strength because of all these wars that he's... Oh, God, the poor man. He's gotten beaten. I think for now we will nominate Green Grafador. But it's entirely possible that we might switch that vote at a later point in time. We've 6 electors. I didn't realize that we actually had 6 electors. There's a lot more electors. Okay, that's rather interesting. They're even giving the Norse, are they? No, that's yeah. They're giving the Norse the right to vote on the High King of Ireland. That's an interesting way of doing it. So everyone seems to be going for Diarmid. And Green Grafador is ranked 1. Because I have 3 votes, and I'd say if they're all voting for him, then he's going to become the new king, and he's also the heir to the Kingdom of Alba. So we may have caused a chaotic decision in doing this, but I believe that if we're taking over as Green Grafador afterwards, that we will be able to use our forces in France and use our various allies to retake the kingdom at the very worst. And I think this is actually my Brother. It's not. I thought it was the brother that was in charge of the Galglas. It's not. So entirely possible. I mean, he's going to inherit Alba. It's possible that Alba won't even exist by the time that Flann Sinna dies. That Flann Sinna kicks the bucket. And now to very quickly explain what I think is going on with the wars for the Italian crown. King Louis of Lothringia inherited the Italian crown, possibly as part of inheriting Frisia and Lothringia in 855. 855. In 884, a faction installed a claimant. I think at that point in time, Bavaria declared war on them, on the Friuli, for the Italian crown. Now, King Louis also declared war on the Friuli for the Italian crown, from what I can understand, took it from them, and then Bavaria redirected their war against Louis the Younger. So that war has been going on for 16 years, the war between Bavaria and Lothringia for the Kingdom of Italy. Then West Francia entered the war. This guy has entered the war for his sister's claim. So he's not fighting for his own claim. This is the former king of Italy from 884 to 893. And we've entered the war, like I said, on the side of our ally, West Francia. And now Lothringia is also facing a civil war. Holland's lands up in this region and in Britain have declared a civil war. And Britanny is attacking our ally for this territory here. So what we're going to do is get the army up to full capacity, send it back into Britain, and start sieging down these lands here. They won't contribute to the war, but they'll make money for us. And then we'll probably bring them across, hit Britanny, and from here probably bring them across and try and join up with the main body of the West Frankish army. We want to bring this war to an end, or we at least want to stabilise our allies' losses, because we need him to keep our kingdom some way stable. We need... My worry is that number will get low enough that the Gardariki will start to think about pushing back into Athlone. So I want to bring this war not to an end, but to stabilise our allies' losses is my main worry at the moment. So we have our alliance with the Galloglasses, with the Galloglass. So that alliance has gone through. And let's see what I can do with this guy. So I can use the hook I have on him to force him to oh, we have a couple of changes here due to the Mad Owl succession, or the what's happening up in Alba. I'll give it a pause quickly. And Ruacon has come of age. They grow up so fast. He's an intricate web weaver. So what I'm going to start to do is I'm going to start to try to sway the Count of Dublin. So this is the Welsh Count that's been put in place after Dublin was conquered in the Holy War. And I'm going to see if I can sway him now. It's going to give me a good chunk of stress, but I'm going to see if we can sway him. And I don't really care who in my family he votes for, as long as he starts voting for somebody in my immediate family. So we're going to start that scheme. And it's possible that Flann Sinna is actually going to suffer a mental breakdown shortly because of what we've just done. And there we go. There's our mental breakdown. Now, it's not exactly the worst. I don't think it's a mental break. It's not the worst. We can't get the reclusive modifier because we're already reclusive, and we can't get the athletic trait because we're already athletic. So it's just both of these do the exact same thing. We'll do this one. Decreases by 49, and yeah, there we are. We're happy out. We can actually come to our decisions, and we should be able to work off some stress. It will give us a sweaty stench for a year. Man, that's a long time. Let's go on a bit of a run. I don't think we have any prisoners at the moment that we can make an example of, or that we can torture to decrease stress. And again, we're going to be getting a lot of these pop-ups as the succession for the High Kingship of Ireland rotates amongst House Céad Cathach, which is one of the problems of having the MacAlpin in House Céad Cathach. So, with the strong hook that I have over the Chieftain of Leinster, which we got from his wife, I think it was in the last episode, or maybe an episode beforehand, I'm able to use that hook to force him to vote in favour with me, to vote in line with me for the next 5 years. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna force him to vote. It'll use the strong hook. And this is my first time using a hook of any make, shape, or form, so it'll be interesting to see how this all works out. Now, Flann Sinna is currently 54, so it'll only stay until Flann turns 59, 60. I'd be hoping he'd live beyond that, but it's entirely possible that he won't. So, and there we go. He's voting in line with us, voting for the same candidate that I'm voting for. We can also actually see here what's motivating people to vote for their candidate and what stands against them voting for Green Graffador. And as we can see, one of the big problems down on the bottom down here is that he is evil, and this is because of he's sadistic. So it's possible that we might have to try to put forward a different member of the family. So we can see down here Diarmid, our courtier, or the count in Ormond and Thomond, he's voting for my son Moll Neil. So we can see why, and we can see Green Graffador. Never mind. Green Graffador has just become our new heir as King of Ireland. So we'll see. We'll have to see what exactly. I was going to say we'll have to see what caused that, but I think it's just the game updating this guy's decision to vote for Flann Sinna. Or to vote in line with Flann Sinna for Green Graffador. But we will have to try and sway some of these people, bring them on side, make them like Green Graffador, and possibly even to make Diarmid like us again. He's utterly useless, but we might have to restore him to his position as steward. So he stopped liking me since I took this position off of him. He's utterly useless. If I give him to power, where is he? I should see him. He's down near the bottom. Damn him, he's down near the bottom. Now he should be near the top. There he is. If I assign him, he likes me. It'll be interesting to see now how this affects his decision, whether or not he'll vote in line with me at a later point in time. So in an interesting development, I've hired some new champions, and this has actually pushed Green Graffador off of the list of champions. So he's no longer a knight in service to us. His prowess isn't great. He was my marshal for a while, but we've hired a much better marshal. So Green Graffador, his brother Geralt, Rokan, Moll Neil, none of them are actually serving as knights at the moment. I'll probably leave that for now, but if their stats get any better, I might actually bring them into the war. There's Cuchurca. There's one of our sons is actually serving as a knight. I didn't think Cuchurca was of age, actually. There's Scanlon, who we pulled out of prison a couple of episodes back. And there, of course, is Chieftain Diarmid of Thomond. Speaking of Chieftain Diarmid, he has grown brave. He is challenging me, his bold challenges in court. And we could either shout at him, "How dare you challenge me?" But these other three options, they're all pretty similar. We'll get 50 diplomacy lifestyle points. We'll get some stress. There's a chance we'll get a weak hook. So this is, I don't think it really matters which one of these I use. They're pretty much all the same. So we'll go with, he shall have tasks which are impossible to complete. He already has tasks which are impossible to complete because he's an idiot. So he's lost some opinion of us. I don't think we've gotten any kind of a hook or anything like that on him. But we've gotten some extra skills for our diplomacy tree. We're probably going to go for Praetorian Guard next, I think. And or maybe even the sway power one. There's two good ones here. And then once we have our next perk, we're gonna reassess what we're doing. Well, two rather interesting things have happened in rapid succession. King Constantine II has died, and I have now become the head of the dynasty. Flann Sinna is now the head of House Céad Cathach, or the Céad Cathach dynasty, which includes the Uí Néill and the Alpin, or the MacAlpin. The other interesting thing, before I go and check out that, is that Dublin is suffering a peasant revolt at the moment. And, of course, I'm trying to sway the Count of Dublin to make him vote in line with me for the succession to the High Kingship. I'm not going to lie, I thought it was only going to be the part of the country called Ireland that would get to vote, but apparently everyone gets to vote. So let's see what we can do now that we are the head of the dynasty. So not a huge lot has been done yet. This is the only one, Ominous Reputation, that has been unlocked so far. We have 533 Renown, which puts us halfway through towards any of these early ones, or a good bit off of the second Guile achievement. I'm thinking of this one. House Warriors. Prowess +2 and Knight Efficiency goes up, or Knight Effectiveness goes up. Either that one or possibly Marriage Acceptance, because again, we're going to have a lot of children, and the ability to actually get them allied is going to get them married, and is going to give us a lot of alliances, regardless of whether it's Flann Sinna or Flann Sinna dies and his next son takes over. Regardless of who's in power, we should have quite a large family to build alliances. So I'm thinking it's going to be this one, though. That's probably the direction that we're going to go down, is the warfare one, especially if we're going to be staying tribal. We're going to be fighting a lot of wars for a long period of time. So I've just seen that in Athlone, I can upgrade my markets. I knew I could do that, and I was going to do that, but I see that we need the city planning innovation, and this is the one that I gave out about a couple of minutes ago, saying that it had been a waste of time to spend our time focusing on it. Looks like it wasn't. We're going to have that in 6 months, and I'm going to upgrade this marketplace, and then I'm going to start working on some of the other buildings in building up Athlone and having a kind of a powerful centre to pass on to Green Graffador. So I've just raised our army, and I was preparing to march them up here and across and attack Lothringa has disappeared. So it looks like Holland has lost a good chunk of its holdings here in Britain. The other major problem is that this was improving for a while. Our allies had been improving in their war against Brittany. Now things have gotten very bad. I think that war score was down to -22% at one stage. Now it's gotten very bad. Now it's down to -75. I don't like spending this money, but what we're going to do is we're going to bring our men down to Ormond, and we're actually going to cross straight across and take Cornwall. Well, we're going to try and take Cornwall. I'm not too sure how easy or hard that's going to be with that's fort level 2. It's not too bad, so we don't need the heavy siege weaponry just yet. I cannot for the life of me understand why the guy in Dublin won't raise his forces and bring them across. We're going to land in Devon, and we're going to march then from Devon. It's going to cost us 24 quid to embark, and we're going to march from Devon then into Cornwall, and from there possibly take this territory. A curse undone. I was trying to think who this is, and of course I couldn't recognize him when he wasn't in his robes, or when he wasn't in all his fancy regal clothing. This is, of course, the father of Scanlon. My god, I was shocked at how big he's after getting. Look at him. He's inherited his mother's Herculean trait. He's gluttonous, and we have him married to a giant, so hopefully they will have children. That would be fantastic. His mother was our wife, and she cheated on us, but now apparently he was my rival. The House of Ivara, and we actually lose a good chunk of stress because of that. That's fantastic. So, just as we prepare to march into Cornwall, we have discovered, well, not discovered, but we've secured city planning. So we have to be fascinated by something else now. Well, we don't have to be, but it looks like this is the one that that most people are going for. I won't say most people are going for, but we already have a good chunk of it discovered. What exactly does it do for us? Levy reinforcement rates up 15%, or all tribal fortification buildings. Yeah, I think we'll go with this one. So this is what we're going to be fascinated with from here on in. And then we're going to come up to Athlone. We're going to come to our trading post, and we are going to upgrade. So that will take 2 years, and we'll have that upgraded. And so money is now an issue. Money is now an issue for us. Well, I won't say it's an issue for us, because hopefully we're going to get some money by sieging down. We're going to get some money by sieging down this area in Cornwall, and we're going to pretty much try and make our money from here on in by sieging. And our councillor Fionnuala has died. She, of course, was our spy master. That's going to be a difficult one to replace. So, interestingly, our best intrigue person is our court physician. So we're gonna appoint her, and she, of course, is finding secrets about one of our wives who may or may not be cheating on us. How interesting. So we'll see if we can siege down Cornwall before we go bankrupt. I don't think we will. But once we get that, and oh my god, we do need to desperately siege down Cornwall quickly. Oh, right. Things have gotten bad. So Cornwall are bringing across forces to attack us. 99% war score in their favor for the conquest. I think it's just a single county. I don't think it's a conquest for much. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get out of there quickly. We'll probably lose. Let's try and face them. They're going to be disembarking. Oh, no, that's bad. Oh, one of these really weird. So we found out that wait, what's this? While performing your duties, my spy master has uncovered a secret held by my wife. She is, in fact, the bastard child of her mother. Wait, who's what now? Whose child? I'm so totally confused. So that last message was worded really awkwardly. I'm not entirely too sure how to read it, in the sense that somebody is the bastard child of somebody. I don't know. It didn't make much sense to me. So this army here is after getting a bit stronger. We're looking at 4,100. We're still looking at the chances being pretty even. So we'll see if we can at least hold off the first branch that comes in. Doesn't look like it. We are doing well, but we're losing forces way, way faster than they are. Joe, we did not do bad there. We did not do too bad when you look at the way the numbers were. Kukurka has been murdered. Now, when you say Kukurka has been murdered, did he die in battle? Or did he actually die? He was slain in battle. Oh, one of my sons is dead. We've a chunk of victories. This is what life was like in Ireland at the time. Your sons. This is why we had so many of them, to send them out to fight and die in battle. Poor Kukurka. And so that's our alliance with Dúnseach gone. Oh, my councillor Onmara has died. Just as I was saying, this battle isn't too bad. What was he? Was he a 21 marshal? Oh man, when you roll the dice, when you take a chance on the roll of a dice, this is what happens. Kukurka has died in battle. I still don't think this is as bad as the Battle of Ardee, but it's bad all the same. It's bad. So there's that alliance expiring, and the forces split off and walk back. And of course, there it was. That was the last straw in that battle. Our defeat has effectively granted Britanny victory in the conquest of that tiny strip of land. We came to the aid of our ally, the King of West Francia, who has aided us so many times and in so many battles, and we lost a son, and we lost a councillor, and maybe we lost a bit of the will to carry on. But we tried. So, because of Kukurka's death, and because his wife was now in my court, I can't remarry her to keep that alliance going. So what we're going to instead do is marry one of our daughters off to another member of the Gaul Oglig to secure an alliance there. So we'll send that proposal. And what we will do then with poor Dunchuk, just after burying her husband, not even burying her husband, because I presume they won't be able to bring Kukurka's body back from Cornwall. We could either marry her to the Archbishop, or, I think this might be a better choice, to Pole. And he's one of our champions at the moment, so we'll secure a marriage there. And yeah, hopefully we'll get as long as he doesn't also die in battle, we'll hopefully get some more military figures. And of course, Pole at the moment is retreating with the army, and he's going to continue retreating back in this direction. Ruacon is telling us that he has no reason to stay at court. Yeah, we haven't been able to establish a marriage for Ruacon. So we will accept that betrothal. Of course we will. That's the betrothal that will secure us the alliance with the Galogloss. Even though I think I might be able to call them in now that I'm the head of the dynasty. So possibly we didn't even need that marriage. Let's see if we can find somebody for Ruacon. For poor old Ruacon, there is very few opportunities. We won't get any alliances. We could get a marriage with this bastard founder fornicator possessed. But she's intelligent. Maybe not. Maybe not. I think maybe this lady here is pretty much the best we can kind of do at the moment. So I'm looking for somebody with some way good intrigue, but it's hard. It's hard at the moment to find anybody. I think also the Diplo range is hitting us pretty badly as well, because I know that I can't make contact with anyone down around this end of the world. So we're still fighting in this war for our claim, the West Francian claim on Italy. We've just lost a son, trying to secure Cornwall, or not to secure Cornwall, but to actually help in our allies' wars on Britanny. So in honor of Kukurka, we will appoint somebody else as the war leader, or not as the war leader, but the leader of our armies. I think we'll appoint Diarmid, and we will send them to siege down this area. If we look at the battle, this battle at Cornwall, we had the kills. Where is the champions? Here we are. Diarmid, 109 kills, all merciful. Pole, who we just married off, 36, and Scanlon down there at towards the bottom of 27. Of course, he's been wounded, so I might take him out of the battle. Look at him now with his eye patch. And there's our poor son, who secured 17 kills and died in battle at the slaughter at Cornwall on the 4th of March, 903. Our poor son, 19 years of age. One of Brian Brew's grandsons was 15 years of age when he was killed at the Battle of Clontarf. So, 19, he had a long life. Long life. So again, the naming is getting weird here. While performing her duties as my spy master, Sethok has uncovered a secret held by my wife, High Queen Melisande. He is in fact the bastard child of his mother, High Queen Melisande, and Count Odon. I'd swear Odon is somebody that we were going to marry. He is one of my daughters was engaged to him, Katrina, before she was taken away by the Vikings, by the court of Helgi. Now I don't know, like, are you saying that one of his children is actually... I actually don't understand what this is saying. I don't think we have an alliance from her, so we might arrest and execute her at some stage. Like I said, I don't fully, like, it's just child's heritage. It doesn't look to be my children, because I'm not getting an update telling me that they're actually not my children. Now, she does have 2 children from a prior relationship. Maybe it's them? I'm not entirely sure. It's worded a bit strange. So, I've restored Green Graffador to the position of Marshal. He held that position up until we captured Onvera in a battle and made him our Marshal. And now that he died in the Battle of Cornwall, Green Graffador takes up that position again. So we have a new perk open to us. I think we will go for the Praetorian Guard, which will give us monthly prestige per night by 2%. We will unlock that. And from there, do I want to return? How is he doing in terms of dread? So his dread is staying low. And down on this side, we can keep our dread high. So if we come down as far as here, it'll heavily negate dread decay. So what I might do is come back to focusing on this side. Now, we were focusing before on agent acceptance and intrigue. I think we're going to come down here to intrigue and natural dread. So again, Flann Sinna's mind going in dark directions. He's lost a son. I think, is this his first child that he's lost? Well, poor old Katrina is as good as lost to us. She's in the court. It says she's in my court, but she's still married to, or she's not married to, she's a concubine. If he's still alive, he may have died. No, he's not there. He is King Helge. And there she is, his concubine. There's another one of my former wives that was taken as his concubine following the siege of Athlone. And poor Katrina has given him 2 sons. One who will inherit the chiefdom of Valencia, and another who... Well, that's a granddaughter. I actually thought there was a couple of grandsons who were going to inherit lands, but one of our grandsons will one day inherit the chiefdom of Valencia. The Norse chiefdom of Valencia. Oh, these damned priests. Will nobody rid me of these damned priests? So my Archbishop, scandalous priest. We had a scandalous priest before and something happened to him. I can't quite remember what. We're going to condemn him for his transgressions. He'll stop endorsing me. It's going to affect church holdings, of which there are currently 0, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. But for now he remains. But if he keeps acting like that, we dealt with the last bishop for being a scandalous priest, and we won't tolerate this guy being a scandalous priest. We're just about to siege down Cambridgeshire, I hope, and then we're going to move on to Suffolk. We've taken some hostages. That usually doesn't end well for them. And actually, we're seeing here an opportunity. Forces from... I'm not too sure who they're actually involved with, because we're involved with so many wars now at this stage. They are... Do you know what? I have no idea who these people are or why they're coming in, but they're hostile to us, and we're going to fight them. We're going to take out our anger on them. I don't think they're actually involved in any of the wars. It might be the fact that they're part of Lothringia, and they're... I think it's the fact that they're part of Lothringia, and they're just hostile to us, because I don't think this is helping us or benefiting us in any way, these attacks, because of course this is part of Lothringia that is in revolt, I think. Again, the scenario has gotten so confused, I'm not entirely too sure. We're having a very bad time with this siege due to its fort level. 12 months left. Do you know what? We'll continue. We'll continue that siege. And we have a major problem. Well, we don't have a major problem, but we have a major development. So the Lothringia has lost the crown of Italy. And we're no longer at war with them, so we're not going to continue that siege. Lothringia has lost to the sister of the previous king of Italy, who had been installed by a faction. Where is he? He's dead. He's dead. It was this guy, Rudolf I. He was the previous king of Italy. He'd been installed by a faction. King Louis the Younger fought him to take back the crown. Bavaria fought him to take back the crown. Well, when I say we, I mean my allies in West Francia fought him to take back the crown. Oh my god, what does this war scenario look like now? That entire region is sieged down, but I think it's sieged down by Bavaria. They have 589 troops. And if we come here and if we look at how they're doing against Bavaria, they have 1,800 troops and they're fighting against Bavaria. Right. So Louis the Younger is dead. It's entirely possible that that's why the throne has moved down here in Italy, because I know that he had no actual successor in place. No, she was installed by a faction demand, so that faction demand actually won. But as we can see, Lotharingia has collapsed. By and large, it's collapsed. We now have Frisia, and they also have taken back. So all of the Lotharingian land here in Britain is gone. And we're now at war with the Kingdom of Italy. So we have our forces massively depleted. But what we'll do is we will bring them across. It'll only cost us 13 quid to embark them. We'll bring them across and we'll see if we can march them down. It's going to be a long trek. They have they're a pretty hefty enough army there already at the moment. But we'll see if we can actually be of any contribution. And we will march. Where will we march towards? Treviso? I think what I'd like to do is see if we can come down in this direction and across. We'll say for here, because we might be able to use the supply limit to actually regroup some of our losses. So we'll come down to Macon and we'll probably cross through Savoy and into Western France, or Western Italy. And so we begin our march across Savoy, an Irish army on the European continent. March to meet up with the French army. We're going to see if we can cut off this small little army here. It looks like they're going to get caught by the French first of all, by the West Franks, before we come in and do anything. And in other bad news, the Count of Bourbon is dead. He was our main sugar daddy for a while, 1,200 troops. His grandson is the new count. So we're going to see if we can reform any alliances there, because we've actually lost the alliance. So that's an important one to try and keep going, and we'll see if we can reform that. So overall, I think it's fair to say a weird episode. Our alliance with France, we failed in the vast majority of our goals. We failed to assist them in their difficulties in Brittany. Not alone that, but we actually lost our son, Cucurca, killed in Cornwall. And we've also added Tanistry elective to the Kingdom of Ireland, and we now need to sort out and make sure that people will vote in favour of my son. It's looking like they will. But we also, what we can do is hand out some counties to some vassals, to some people who like us, or some people that we might have hooks on, and get them to vote in favour of our son. So that's the way it's going to be in the next episode. I think it's quite fitting that we've lost another council member at the end of this episode, and it was our spy master. So that's 2 spy masters we've lost this episode, 3 councillors we've lost this episode. And I think we might be looking at a member of the family. There's poor Katrina. I thought we had a few members of the family who are good at intrigue. It doesn't look like it, so we're gonna put one of our champions as the definitely not you. Yeah, we'll put this this guy as our spy master. So yeah, there you go. It's been an interesting one, and we will watch as we siege down Asti, and then prepare to go in a different direction. Lorne is now come of age, so she's going to carry out her marriage, which will secure our alliance to the Galloglass. And so we've secured the family summit, we've secured some alliances, lost a family member, the first of Flann Sinna's sons to died in battle, defending our honour and our alliance with West Francia. But overall, it wasn't a great one. It wasn't a great one. We'll march on... Where do we march on? We'll march on Genoa. We'll march on Genoa. See, predominantly... That's the main thing we're after, is money. I think they have a lot of money in... Ooh, they have a nice chunk of money. They have a big fort level as well, so that might not be the easiest to take. But yeah, we're gonna continue wandering around this region and trying to assist our liege, or not our liege, our ally in taking the Italian crown. And thank you all for joining me. I hope you've been enjoying the series so far. Like I said, the first 4 videos went up over the last couple of days. People seem to be liking it so far. This has been an interesting one. And if we do take the Italian crown, it'll be interesting to see if we then end up going to war with Bavaria. So yeah, members of the family lost. New succession laws enacted, and we discovered our first fascination. And we became the head of the dynasty, which gives us control of the dynasty lineage. Thank you for joining me, and I shall talk to you all on the next one.